So yesterday we had an introductory session on this GCP, who is a data engineer, GCP data engineer, the roles and responsibilities, various GCP data engineering products and services, job market of GCP. Advantage. I was talking about, just I'll take 5 minutes what I discussed in the last class. So we're going with the cloud, the two with the Google Cloud, right? Yes. On-premise, what is the advantage of cloud over the on-premise? Here everything we need to, in the case of on-premise, we need to set up our own hardware infrastructure. On top of that, voice installation, purchasing of database license, designing database objects. To maintain all this, we require separate teams are required. Hardware team, operating system team, networking team, security team, database administrators required. But here everything in the cloud premises, we no need to maintain any of this, no need of any infrastructure, no need of maintain any licenses, everything in the cloud environment, everything in the cloud. So various cloud service providers, we see many cloud service providers: AWS, Azure, GCP, Oracle Cloud, Salesforce, VMware, Liquid Web, Alibaba Cloud, Rackspace, DigitalOcean, right? Among all those, most companies are preferring this GCP, Azure, and AWS. And why GCP as compared with Azure or AWS? GCP growth is increasing rapidly. Here we store data, we retrieve or read data, we perform data analytics, we see high availability of data, and data is safe and secure, easy to scale, and GCP is flexible. Easy to scale and GCP is flexible. And why to choose GCP, right? It's fastest. It is the fastest, biggest network in the world. One of the fastest, biggest network in the world, right? Yes. Yes, and petabyte bandwidth, high performance, I can say, high performance. So Google has got the data centers throughout the world. They've got very high-end virtual machines, separation of compute and storage. Okay, and flexible pricing as compared with AWS and Azure. Right, even customization, certain things we have got a wide range of customization for any instance. For a particular instance, we can customize depending on the requirement. For instance, having 1 petabyte of storage, scalability, easy to scale, capacity increasing or capacity decreasing, live migration, supporting live migration of virtual machines, right? Yes, whatever existing system we have, you can just migrate, right? This feature you cannot see in other clouds like Azure, AWS. Big data, ML, yes, we have got many inbuilt and predefined machine learning and big data, this kind of APIs, machine learning and AI APIs, right? Yes, in GCP. Okay, and here free trials. Some services are free for is totally free lifelong, and some are free for 1 year. Some services are free for 3 months. Customer systems migration, right? Twitter, Vodafone, Spotify, HSBC, all this, right? The existing data migration to GCP, right? Yes. So data engineering involves like handling data, working with data, totally working uh, with data, right? Handling, ingesting data, sorting, storing the data, filtering the data, transforming, processing, merging, sorting, grouping, and analyzing this data. Yes. So how to extract the data, how to pull the data, from where you need to extract the data from, how to get the data, what are the sources from where you need to get the data from, how to process the data, and what is that format, and what is the final destination, what is the target, right? A data engineer designs and maintains an organization's entire data infrastructure. With the help of the cloud services, they work on the data and make it structured and useful. Data engineer is responsible for smooth data flow from the source to the destination. Hmm. Data scientist, on the other side, data scientist, they just strategizes for the future, recommendations for the future. They analyze the data, identify the patterns. Data scientist for data analysis, predictions, classifications. Data analysis, data prediction, data classification, data clustering, data recommendation. That is what data scientist. Data engineer, data management, data storage, data processing, all this it does. Data analyst, data visualizations, data summarization and data visualizations you do. Summarizing and visualizing the data of the past. For all this, data is the main thing. Yes. Data engineer does all the groundwork for this data scientist and analyst, right? Means maximum 70% of this work done by this data engineers in extracting, in processing the data, right? So data engineer as compared with the typical or this, you can see if we talk about the ETL developer as compared with ETL developer, right? Yes. Okay. Data engineer should be able to work with all kind of data, structured, semi-structured, unstructured data, right? Yes. He should be able to work with streaming data. He should be able to work with NoSQL data, with all formats of data like CSV, JSON, Parquet, XML. You should be able to work with all varieties of data. Okay. Talking about this GCP, it is a computing service. It allows customers, right? Like it is going to allow customers as a platform as a service, in infrastructure as a service, serverless computes, right? Serverless computing environments. GCP data engineer is going to, a GCP data engineer, right, is going to build, maintain data pipelines using this Google Cloud, right? So the data quality, ensuring the data quality, the data storage and data processing optimizations, and the required the data requirement, and what is the format of the data. It has to be collaborating with the data scientists, and monitoring data infrastructure, and ETL is one of the other key tasks, right? Yes. So here data engineer designs, maintains an organization entire data infrastructure, including complex data pipelines and big data technologies, right? Designs, builds, and maintains the overall data infrastructure, data pipelines, and right. Yes, he will be handling with big data technologies, cloud services, data preparations for machine learning, and implements both batch and real time data solutions, right? Yes. And if I talk like very various data engineering products or services, data engineering products or services, right? Yes. Cloud storage for storing data, BigQuery, right, for data warehouse and for querying, storage, and analysis of large data sets, Dataproc for big data processing and analytics, Databricks for PySpark processing, right, in GCP, data flow for streaming data. What do you mean by stream, right? Streaming data are nothing but like data which keeps on generating, data which keeps on incrementing, and also like batch data, millions and trillions of records involved, right? User non-interactive applications. We say that batch applications like batch data processing, cloud composure, Apache Airflow for automating and monitoring data pipelines, pub or sub for messaging and data ingestions, right? Yes. So that is what we was discussed, right? So this is very important. So just I doesn't want to enter into the technicals as of now. It's a demo session, right? So some basic idea I'll be providing, right? So before selecting, okay, later I'll be discussing about the subscription and various other things we need to see, right? But here, before going with this, there's something important. Yeah. GCP locations. GCP locations. So here, what is a location? What is a region? What is a location? What is a region? What is a zone? What is a location? What is a region? What is a zone? And what is the selection criteria? Selection criteria. So just this is very important, right? Yes. Otherwise, location to location, region to region, zone to zone, the cost will be differing, the availability will be different, right? Yes. So here, if you want to create any resource, if you want to create any resource in GCP, compulsorily we need to specify location or region. We need to specify the location or a region. So here, for example, one second. I want to show you one example. So simple, if you want to get a free subscription working with this console, different ways to interact with the GCP components, right? GCP services. We have got many methods. I'll be discussing many phase or interfaces to just interact with GCP. So here, so console.cloud.google.com, console.cloud.google.com. It will ask select with which one, right? And just yes, just we need to provide. Okay, it is asking for that. Just a second. So console.cloud.google.com, right? So where you can just log into this console. It's taking time. One second. Okay, it's done. Just a second. Yeah, so just what is that? Can see it here. console.cloud.google.com, right? Okay, so just here, for example, locations or region, right? Just here I'll say cloud storage, cloud storage, right? Yes, just I'll enter to this cloud storage, right? Within this cloud storage, right? If I want to create a, see here, we generally create buckets. Within the buckets, we'll just load file, upload files. So buckets, if I'm trying to create a new bucket, just if I'm trying to create a new bucket, just understand here how important that location or the region here. So here you'll be asking, it will ask, just observe here, I'm giving some name. I'll give some name, my bucket one, just continue. Okay, some name I'm giving. So because it's a global name, should be unique name. So here, if you observe, while creating a bucket, if I'm trying to create a resource, if I'm trying to create a resource, whether it can be any kind of GCP resource, right? So choose where to store your data. Choose where to store your data. So here it is asking location type. It is asking you for the location type. Multi-region means high availability. High availability. Dual regions means in two regions your data will be stored. Multi-regions means many regions data will be stored. Yes. And here region, in a single region. In a single region, if that region, if for that particular data is crashed, that there is no availability of your data is lost. That's why for this high availability or highest availability, people generally go for multi-region. If the data is too sensitive, dual region for data. For if the data is not sensitive, go with a single region, multi-region, dual region. But even you can see that cost is applied here. For multi-region, you can see with the default replications, $0.20. For single region, you see, okay, estimate $0.020 per GB per month. Okay, it's going to vary. So you can go with regions, dual region or multi-regions. Okay, so 0.026. Okay, so for any cloud platform, if you want to create a resource, you need to specify the location. If you won't select a proper region or zone, what happens? If you won't select, it will affect your availability. If you won't select proper region or zone, it will affect your availability. It may or may not be available. So it will affect your availability. If your data in a single region, if you are sure, then if the data got crashed, then you won't see in my other region it is not stored, the data is lost. If the data is like banking data, sensitive data. And one more thing is high latency. High latency. High latency means seek time. Seek time. When trying to access a file or a resource, more delay time. High latency, you can see. If you are not selecting the proper region or location, right? What happens? High latency, the seek time when trying to access a file, when trying to access a resource, or more delay time. And also third one, affects the performance. So that's what while creating any resource, right? Next I'll be discussing practically, we'll be discussing practically where you people can do along with me parallelly from the next week onwards, the subscription, everything. But before that, you need to know something, right? What happens if you're not selecting proper region, location, or zones? Affects the performance of your application. Yes. And also it will affect your cost also. So from region to region, from location to location, the cost will differ. It will affect your cost. See, GCP, if you talk GCP, yes, GCP infrastructure. GCP infrastructure. Divided into 5 locations. It is divided into 5 locations. Understand here, GCP infrastructure divided into 5 locations. So generally, whenever you are selecting the locations, right, 5 locations are available. What are the 5 locations? 5 locations where you can select it is, if you want to create any resource, in which locations, the locations are available where you want to create, where you want to store your data. North America, this one. South America, Europe, Asia, Australia. Australia, right here. 5 locations available totally. In which location you want to store your data, you want to create your resource. Locations, I talked about 5 locations. See, generally, if I talk 5 locations, 37 regions, 112 zones. 112 zones. GCP has got 5 locations, 37 regions. So in North America, there are some regions, South America, there are regions, Europe, in Asia, in Australia, right? Yes. If you talk about India, there are 2 regions. Means in Asia, if you come to India, there are 2 regions, Delhi and Mumbai. Delhi and Mumbai are the 2 regions available. Again, within the regions, again, multiple zones will be there. So total, in the total world, if we talk, GCP is the fastest or the biggest network, you can say, in that 5 locations, in the 37 regions, 112 zones. So GCP is managing, it is managing 5 locations, 37, 112 locations. Collection of regions. Collection of regions. Regions. Collection of zones. Collection of zones we call regions. Collection of regions we call. Every region, if you talk, every region At least 3 zones. Every region will have at least 3 zones. At most, you say, not at least, at most. Every region will have at most 3 zones. Max number of zones. Not at most, what can I say? At least 3 zones. Or around 3 zones, you can say. I said in India, so if you want to create any resource in India, if you have 2 regions, we have 2 regions. And Delhi and Mumbai. Delhi and Mumbai. So here, okay. You may ask, you may have queries, you may have multiple queries. Why this regions and zones? Why these regions and zones? When we have locations, right? When we have locations, why we go for regions and zones? For example, India divided into states. India divided into states. States divided into districts. The same way, locations into regions, regions into zones. You may ask, so why again this bifurcations? So just why states and districts? Why states and districts? When we have India, when we have a country, right? So here for better administration, in the same way, Google, if I talk Google, its infrastructure, divided into multiple locations, and further into regions, and into zones. Why? To make the resources available, throughout the world. And to every individual. So here white is dividing the locations into regions and zones to make the resources available throughout the world and to every. See, for example, for general example, if I take, observe this. Telangana is there. This is the location. It's a location. The location in that I got a region. For example, Hyderabad region. Within that region, you can see many things. Zones. Amirpet, Madhapur, Dilshuk Nagar, right? So in this way, different, and this is the location, this is the region. Again, it is divided into multiple zones. Where is the infrastructure or resources? Generally, yes. Where is the infrastructure? Where is the infrastructure or resources? In zones. In zones. In each zone, we have a data center. We have a data center. Data center means virtual machine and a disk. Virtual machine and a disk. Means what a data center? A data center, if you talk, is a collection. It's a collection of physical resources. Physical resources. Resources called disk and virtual resources and virtual resources. Virtual resources. VM, right? Yes. Data center is a collection of physical resources, disk, and virtual resources, VM. So every zone will have a data center. So we'll have a data center. I've got a question. If I want to store some data, where I need to store? Where I need to store? If I want to store some data, where I need to store? You need to specify. You need to specify the location and region. You need to specify the location and region. Example, Asia is there. In that again, which region? In that again, which region? Again, in that region, in that which zone? Here, Delhi and Mumbai also available, right? In that again, multiple zones are there. So that's the reason. So while creating, any resource, we need to specify. We need to specify at which location you want to create the resource. You want to create the resource. At which location you want to create the resource? At which location you want to create the resource? And at which region? At which region, right? You want to create the resource. For example, if it will let you know, right, at which data center your data is going to be stored. It is going to say at which data center. For example, if you select a location Asia, if you select location Asia, region, mm, region Mumbai, region Mumbai. In that we have in that Mumbai, in that we have zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. If you select location region Mumbai, in that we have zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. If we select zone 1, the data sits in zone 1. Physically, your data is available in the data center location. So in Google Cloud Platform, physically data is available in the data center. The division is only for what purpose? The division is only for, okay. So this kind of division, this division, right? High availability of your data. Minimal latency. Minimal latency means it won't take much time in just fetching your files. Good performance. Minimal cost. The regions or zones may increase in the future. These are what? 5 locations, 37 regions, 112 zones, right? The regions or zones may increase in the future as GCP is fastly growing. So here, if we can see the architecture of this. This is region 1. A region 1 to region 2. Region to region. A region to region. So multiple regions. Again, each region, zone 1 to zone 2, zone 3. Interconnectivity. So this is what region 1. This is what region 1. In the same way, in region 2 also multiple zones. Region 3 also multiple zones. Z1, Z2, Z3. Multiple zones, multiple zones. Each region is connected with other region. So regions are interconnected with high bandwidth and low latency network. Each zone is connected with other zone. Each zone is connected with other zone with high bandwidth and low latency, right? Why they are interconnected means replication. If one fails, we can get the retrieve the data from other. Replications, duplications, right? Data replications. If one is going to be failed, you can get the fetch the data. Within each zone we have a data center. In zone 1 we have a data center. In that we'll have a virtual machine and a disk. So okay, so you may ask, so here that is what, and here what is that I was talking about here? What is the selection criteria? You got idea about what is the location, region and zone? What is the selection criteria? What is the selection criteria? Three steps, selection criteria, right? 3 step selection criteria here. So when creating a resource, or deploying an application, it is important, right? region or zone near to target customer. I'll just explain you what is this. When creating a resource or deploying an application, it is important to find the region or zone near to target customer. For example, check with this. A company right? Developed an application. It has developed an application. To whom? This is India. It has developed an application to Indian users. To Indian users. So here the end users are Indians. A company has developed an application to Indian users. But where is the infrastructure? In North America. In North America infrastructure. In North America, the infrastructure. Application means a code which should be deployed on some infrastructure. Application means a code which should be deployed on some infrastructure. Here, infrastructure available in North America. North America data center application. Okay. Here, infrastructure available in North America data center. So now, if I deploy the application, if I deploy this application in North America data center, but the target users are Indian users. So all the way from India, they have to connect to this application. All the way to that, they have to connect to this application. So here the Indian users may face some problems such as high latency. Means high latency means lot of time in fetching, or sometimes even the application won't be available. The application performance will be affected. So the Indian users, what they do, Indian users, as the application there is no access, proper access. Sometimes it will be accessible, taking lot of time, it won't be available. The Indian users stop using this application. They stop using the application. So the what happens? It is developed for Indian users, but the Indian users, they have stopped using that application because of this high latency and application not available. So the entire business of the company collapses because of a simple issue, right? What is a simple issue? They have deployed their application in North America. Solution for this: you need to deploy their application near to target users. You need to deploy their applications near to the target users. So they have to deploy the application in the Indian data centers. So when the data center is near to them, there won't be any latency issue or performance issues. Okay, that is one. Second thing, right? When okay, so that is creating the resource. This is also important. The location to deploy. So see, deploy fault tolerant applications. Fault tolerant applications with high availability. With high availability and protect unexpected failures with high availability and protect against unexpected failures. So what you do? So deploy So deploy your applications across multiple zones or regions. Okay, for example, client given 100 TB data. Client given 100 TB data to store in GCP. Understand? Client given 100 TB data to store in GCP. So for your GCP, right? So Google Cloud Storage, we have got a service called Google Cloud Storage. Create a resource. Bucket. If you want to store that in GCS, you need to create a bucket. While creating bucket, we need to select the location, region, or zone. We need to create a bucket. Just now I was showing you, right? Practically, I was just opened it and I was showing you here where you want to store your data, region, multi-region, single region, right? Yes. GCS Google Cloud Storage is a multi-region service, and you need to select any region. Here, no need to select a zone because it is a regional service. So select region. So you selected North America. So what is that? It is a regional service. So region that you selected is North America. Understand? You selected North America. In North America, again, okay. Location is North America. We have multiple regions in this. We have multiple regions. For example, Dallas, Los Angeles, right? In this way. So select, if you are selecting anything, so select Dallas. So if you are selecting Dallas, he created bucket successfully and uploaded data into that. Now, where is the data? In Dallas. We have 100 TB of data. Now, suddenly an unexpected happened. So everything got collapsed. A fire accident or something. Previously, if you see in Lost, previously also, right? We had a big, very fire accident in Los Angeles, right? So here, Dallas, we have got 100 TB, everything got collapsed and your entire 100 TB data is lost. So the solution is deploy your application or resource across multiple regions, right? Here, this one, second one, across multiple regions, right? Multiple zones or regions for high availability. While creating, that's the reason, while creating something, right here, creating, but it is asking multi-region you want or single region. If it is single region, if it is collapsed, right, you won't see the data is lost. 100 TB of data. Dual region means it will also go for 2 regions only. Multi-regions, many regions tools. So that is what, this is very important, selecting this for high availability of your data, for high availability of your data, right? Yes. So your data is first loaded into the first region, and from the first region, there is a connection with the, I said, right? Just now I was talking region to region. It will be first loaded into the first region, and from first region, there is a connection with the and high bandwidth. There is a replication from region to region to region 3. There is a replication. You don't need to do any replication physically. They will be coming to the cloud. So yes, replications, infrastructure kinds of activities, everything taken care by the cloud platform itself. You no need to select any kind of replication. You only select multi-region. You no need to give any kind of replication, 2 or 3 or 4 like that. First data loads into first region, slowly it will be replicated to the regions. They are interconnected, I said, and so that you don't need to do anything. If one region data is lost, it can't be retrieved from other region. This is what we call it as fault tolerance. What we call this is fault tolerance. So if you want to go for high availability, select multi-regions. So for multi-regions, right, some additional charges will be applied. Additional cost will be charged for multiple regions. If data is sensitive, if data is critical, go for multiple regions. Otherwise, go with single region. Okay, that is second one. Just I'll take 5-10 minutes more. Just I'll take 5-10 minutes. So this is important. That's why I was talking about this. So next is first one, when creating a resource, deploying it near to the target customer. Second one is multiple regions and multiple zones for the high availability of your data. Pricing and availability. Pricing and availability of services across different regions and zones. The cost of a resource from region to region or zone to zone will be varying. So it depends upon the demand. For example, observe this. For example, a labor example, if I give, right, iPhone cost is less in US as compared to India, right? Availability of resource. If you are staying in a village or a small town iPhone iPhone compulsory, it won't be available. iPhone is not availability. I'm talking means the resource availability not available. When you create a cluster, what we check? When we are creating any cluster, what we check? Whenever anything in region 1 not available, in region 2 it is available, but the cost is $90. In region 3 it is available, but with $70. So we select this. So region to region, it is availability of the resource and that cost. So depending upon the demand, right? Okay. So whenever these things, right, these things compulsory from the data engineer, senior in data engineer, the architect level, you need to know about these regions and locations. Okay. For example, just I'll open this. I'm opening Google, right? So this is very much important in the architect level, senior data engineer level, right? Yes. For example, GCP pricing calculator. Okay. Cloud storage, a region. So see, select see $9.99. Select region. So here, if I select multi-region, you see, calculating the changes, $130. $130, single region. For location, United States. And if you want to change any other location also, which location you want, that location you can keep, and you can check the pricing calculator for single region how much, multi-region how much, right? In this way you should be able to calculate these things. So this is very much important before you create any subscription. Hope you got the idea, right? So this regions, locations, zones. So GCP is providing 5 locations, 37 regions, and 112 zones. Okay. So just I was talking about this, right? Yes. One second. So we'll be discussing in brief about this, right? So various GCP products and services, each and everything in brief: cloud storage, BigQuery, Dataproc, Databricks, Dataflow, Cloud Composer, PubSub. So this for big data processing, for PySpark processing. PySpark is a very high speed processing technology, right? Very high speed processing. Spark 100 times faster than the normal disk processing. It is 100 times faster than the normal disk processing, very high speed. If you see, there is a many tests also done, right? The speed to test the speed of Spark, can check. Yes, and also I said, right, okay, we'll be discussing about these components. You can just have a check on this course content. We'll be discussing in brief GCP data engineering fundamentals, GCS cloud storage, cloud SQL, BigQuery for building data warehouse, Dataproc for big data processing, Databricks for PySpark processing, for Apache Beam development, Dataflow, Cloud Composer for orchestration, Data Fusion, Data Integration Service, DBT Data Build Tool, Airflow, and Terraform. So once you can just have a look on this in brief, in depth, and also you can compare this with other training sites, how brief, how depth will be going with each and everything. So that's why we'll be going with 12 weekends. It is 3 months duration, like 12 weekends. GCP data engineering fundamentals, starting with GCP, how to sign in with GCP account with non-Gmail ID, with Gmail ID, project and billing, and this SDKs, installation, storage and databases, cloud storage, GCS, in brief, in depth, we'll be discussing, setting up a data lake, and also cloud SQL, setting up a Postgres or MySQL using cloud SQL, right? Data ingestion and integration, PubSub, data flow, data proc, data processing and transformation, data warehousing, right? And in that data warehouse also BigQuery I'll be discussing in brief with many examples. Dataproc for big data processing, along with that ELT data pipelines using Dataproc, and also like Databricks, PySpark processing in GCP, and also like ELT pipeline using Databricks, integration of Spark on Dataproc and BigQuery, and these things, right? Yes. Dataflow, Apache Beam development, Cloud PubSub, right? Google Cloud Composer, right? Data Fusion, Cloud Functions, Terraform, data pipelines using DBT, Airflow, and BigQuery. And finally, machine learning in GCP, security monitoring and governance, real world GCP data engineering scenarios, right? Yes. So I was saying the offerings from my side. You'll be getting each and every session video. If you miss any session, you can just go through the video and just attend the next sessions for better understanding. Soft copy of class notes, assignments and tasks to work, and a WhatsApp group will be created. Okay. Interview questions around 200 to 300 interview questions, live interactive hands-on sessions. So 200 interview questions. So you can do the task along with me parallelly. So from the next week onwards, we'll be mostly starting with the practical part where you can be ready with the practicals, right? So for getting this GCP subscription, free subscription, 3 months free subscription, we will be getting. So just to keep handy, right? Yes. Um, credit card is required, but it won't detect the credit card only for identity verification only. Just 2 rupees it will deduct from that. Again, it is going to refund. It is not going to just deduct anything from that until and unless you go with your concern. So just a mail ID, a Gmail ID, a credit card. That's enough. I'll show you step by step how to get the subscription and how to get how to work, how to interact with the various services, right? There are 3 methods are there. One by one method I'll be discussing. Through console you can, or from local machine, how we can do, from cloud console how we can do, and using cloud shell command based I'll show, console based I'll show you, command based I'll be showing you how to interact. Yes. So along with that, you'll be getting Python videos, MySQL videos, and Linux videos, right? So DurgaSoft provides you with the videos of Python, MySQL, and Linux videos once you get enrolled for this course, right? Once you get enrolled for this course, right? Yeah. 1 second. You can see a big message is given by the online team. A big message is given by the online team, right? Yes. Uh, Debit card also accepted. Umapati, right? The debit card also accepted. Either debit card or credit card. See, you need to have MasterCard or Visa card. Which one are accepted? Credit card and debit card accepted. RuPay cards not accepted. Master and Visa cards. Any of your parents or yours, anyone, you can have the cards. Just you'll be getting 3 months access. If it doesn't have credit card, debit card is fine. Umapati, right? Yes. Yeah. 1 second. So you can see a big message is given by the online team in the Zoom chat. You can see they have provided the course content details. If anyone missed registration video link, and the payment details, their contact details, 4 contact details are provided, and the payment details, GPay, Google Pay, Phone Pay details are provided. And if anyone gets enrolled next week, the link will be changed for the session, right? Same time at 6 o'clock, the session will be starting, but with a different link. For getting the link, you should be enrolled. For getting these notes, what we have discussed, for getting the videos, and for getting added to the WhatsApp group, right? Tomorrow, a WhatsApp group will be created. You will be added to the WhatsApp group, and from tomorrow, like, you'll be getting the videos to your Google Drive. What are the videos as tests in today's, every week videos will be added, and the notes you will be getting out along with the notes. And the people who wants to have some prerequisites, so you can just get enrolled today or tomorrow, so that you will be getting the Python videos access. And MySQL videos, Linux videos access you'll be getting, right? You can go through those videos meanwhile by the next week. And also you'll be getting these notes and the videos of this GCP, right? Know what we have discussed till now. And you'll be added to the WhatsApp group, right? Yes. Sahid Sahu, right? Can you please tell me when the course? Any tentative date? Exactly, you can see it is November, right? It will go like 12 weekends. We were, because we'll be discussing in brief, in depth, right? So you can see the course content. We'll be discussing many products of this GCP data engineering products or services. So exactly 3 months from now, 12 weekends. And also like some migration kinds of, we'll be seeing some migration projects. I'll be discussing some 2 projects in this. Some one migration project will be there in that. February 15th, like that. So this is November, right? November 10th, like around February 1st week it may go, because December, January, February, like tentative means like 2.5 to 3 months it goes. So why? Because we'll be spending with more practical working examples. Fine. So all the sessions will be interactive. You can ask any queries during the session, and you can, I'm asking you to do parallelly, so that if any errors, immediately you can share the screen and check with that, right? Instead of When if you get any error also, you can just take a snap and post it. Can you expect all the notes and other course material links will be sent via mail? Yes, videos you can see in your Google Drive. Videos you'll be sending, notes you'll be getting, right, to mail, right? Yes, links also through mail only you'll be getting. So one more, you can see one note given by the DurgaSoft online team, right? So people generally do a mistake, right? They will get enrolled, but they'll keep silent. They're given a note. Don't forget to share the screenshot of the payment to that mail ID that is provided. They have provided one mail ID, DurgaSoft online training at the rate gmail.com. They have provided one mail ID, right? To that mail ID, just forward your screenshot. Then only they'll be forwarding the link to you. Yes. Okay, fine. So next week, okay, fine. So you'll be getting the link mostly like next Thursday or Friday. You'll be getting the which link you are talking. This Zoom link, right, for attending the class. By Thursday, you'll be getting 2 days before that. Still, if you're not got by Friday, you can call on that numbers. 4 numbers are there. Even if the number is busy, you can see there are 4 numbers provided. And if you want, generally this access Python, MySQL, these videos, you can just get it once you get enrolled today and tomorrow. You can just check with that videos of this and these videos also of this yesterday's and today's to your Google Drive, right? Any other queries you got, anyone? Fine. So if I'm done with the queries, so I said, right, even for this, what is that? If I talk about job market of this, even it's one of these data engineering, right? This is the right correct time for the people to enter into this data engineering and cloud data engineer, right? Even if we talk about the salary packages also today, if you see the current industry, data engineering, data science, and AI are the uh, trending technologies which are there in the market industry, which will be there in the coming years also. That data engineers has got the highest salaries as closely as data scientist. So highest paying jobs, as I was saying, right, data engineer and data scientists are the highest paying jobs today. So yes, even if you see many companies are offering high paying jobs for data engineers, especially for data engineers, the salary packages, if you take 1.5 times more than the other technologies, right? Yes. Yes. And even many companies, right? They're offering high paying jobs. They're interested in hiring data engineers with great salary packages. You can just demand for the salaries. They are going to provide at the same way. They're expecting some kind of technical skills command from your side. So at the end of this course, you'll be getting great command. Each and everything point to point we'll be discussing, right? So everything you will be doing with the practical exposure directly, you can attend the interview process without any kind of revision also, right? Fine. So if we're done with the queries, if there are no other queries, I will sign off for now. Meet you next Saturday at 6 p.m. same time to see more discussion, right? Thank you all for your time. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Said, right?
Yes. So my question is, how much Python skill required for this data engineering?
So basic Python knowledge is required. Basic, not like you're not going to develop any web applications here. So basic Python knowledge. Anyhow, I'll be discussing about the Python syntaxes before I go with the practicals like Databricks, Dataproc. Before I go with those components, just I'll provide you that syntaxes of those things. Meanwhile, if whenever you are free, you'll be getting it's a weekend batch, right? You can just also go with the Python videos that is provided to you.
So that's why I'm asking. So if Python video is sharing, so Python video contains all these things, right? So that's why whether it is required for data engineer or it is required for the, because the Python video contains all this full stack something. No?
No, not full stack, only like whatever the videos provided to you, like Python. But anyhow, how much knowledge you want in that knowledge I'll be giving into in the course in our course also I'll be providing you.
Okay,
But
sir.
that
Another
is
question.
the videos.
Already PySpark is there. So why it is Python again? It is required.
See, PySpark is a Python API to use Spark.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm
So
saying.
PySpark is a Python API. Python API is a Python package. It's a
Mm-hmm.
Python given package. PySpark is a Python given package, right? To use Spark. Spark is the main execution agent. It is developed. It can be implemented in multiple languages like Scala, Python, R language, this language, right? So in our course, see currently in the industry, Spark with Python implementation is used a lot because
Okay.
Python has got many thousands of modules available towards these different environments. That's why we go with this. So it doesn't mean that you need to go in deep or in brief about this Python. So whatever I discussed during the course, right, the Python, whatever the syntaxes I'll show, everything that is enough.
Uh-huh. And
Whatever
what
I
about
discussed.
MySQL, sir? So MySQL means only the commands
Basic
which.
SQL knowledge. Basic SQL knowledge is enough. Creating table, inserting, deleting, dropping, updating, these things enough. Knowledge is enough.
So
But
like
this
PLSQL is not required, right? So
no, not all those.
okay, okay, sir. Yeah, I got my point. Yeah, thank you.
So just there might be if anyone so this is just the offer given by that Durgasoft, just have some access to that. If anyone with zero knowledge, this they'll be getting some idea, right, before we start with that components, like where we go with actual, but it will be taking time around 1 month, actually when we start with Python kind of stuff, right? So meanwhile you can just to go through that if anyone, if you're not aware about basic Python, basic SQL. But anyhow, before I go also I'll be just providing the syntaxes of all those, right? Yes. Okay, fine. Okay, so we'll meet next Saturday 6 p.m, right? So everyone get enrolled for getting that access. Thank you all. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Yes.